Good morning, everybody. I hope we're doing well. Okay, yeah, we only have 1 hour, so I thought let me get started with the webinar. Um, as you would have seen, the call for presentations has gone out. Um, yes, the chat should be active. I have just muted all of the participants, but if you do want to ask a question, you're welcome to raise your hand and I'll unmute you. So the call for presentations has gone out for the Siyaphumelela Conference. It's going to be taking place from the 23rd to the 26th of June at the Birchwood Hotel and OR Tambo Conference Center in Boksburg, Johannesburg. The theme for the conference remains reimagining student success and expanding opportunity for all. So this is open to everybody who works in the higher education, well, actually in the post-school education and training sector within South Africa and internationally. So anybody is able to present and submit presentations, not just those who are part of the Siyaphumelela network. So I want to give a brief overview of what Siyaphumelela is. And Siyaphumelela is around promoting equitable student success and eliminating the performance gaps based on race, gender, and socio-economic status. We do this collaboratively as part of a network, and we do this through four main things: data, evidence, the student voice, and student-centeredness. So with data, it's around improving institutional capacity to collect and use student data. It's around evidence, building scalable evidence-based student success initiatives. It's the student voice, embedding the student voice in student success initiatives, and it's around student-centeredness, establishing a more student-centered culture within our institutions and across the higher education sector. And this results in equitable student success, which is improving throughput rates and reducing barriers to completion for all students. So why the Siyaphumelela model works is that it takes a holistic and systemic approach to student success. It focuses on building institutional capacity and a culture of student success within institutions. It supports and amplifies existing wraparound interventions as well as creates space for new and innovative interventions. And these get showcased through our conference. It secures strong executive buy-in. So student success isn't additional work, it is your work, and it's everybody's work. And it also ensures institutionalization of student success. And this is through our student success committees, which are integrated across the university, including leadership, support staff, academics, and students. We focus on collaborative problem solving around the student success challenges that we face, and it is underpinned by data. Okay. So the scaling strategy that we use for Siyaphumelela, um, you would have heard this during our previous conferences. It's around scaling deep. So doubling down on our current efforts, going beyond access, retention, and throughput to preparing students for the world of work and business, as well as transitioning into university. It's on scaling up, so expanding the reach of Siyaphumelela to all of our 26 public universities, to include private higher education institutions, as well as our TVET colleges, and scaling out. So amplifying student success at a global scale and refining and promoting adoption of our Siyaphumelela model across the African continent and beyond. So that's just a little bit of a background for those of you who might not be familiar with Siyaphumelela. Some of our important dates that we have coming up. So this is a webinar that's taking place now. From the 30th of March until the 6th of June, the conference registration will be open. Also from the 30th of March, our abstracts and presentation submission portal will be available on EasyChair for submissions. So the deadline for presentations to be submitted via EasyChair is going to be the 20th of April. For the partners, the institutional leads, I do see we have some institutional leads here. Your deadline is going to be the 6th of May, but we'll be discussing that more in the upcoming partner convening meeting around that. And then we're aiming to notify all presenters by the 8th of May on the status of their presentation. So the registration fees for the Siyaphumelela Conference as a normal network delegate is going to be 6,325 Rand. For the non-network delegates, it's going to be 7,900 Rand. And this is for a 4-day conference. For presenters, so this is important to note for the presenters here, we're offering a discount. In previous years, we've waived the registration fee for the presenters, but as we've scaled the conference and the costs have increased, we have had to offer a discount instead. And the same for students. They will receive a 33% discount. So you'll see then that is why we've had to push all of our dates a lot earlier in terms of giving of your the submission of the abstract deadline is earlier so that we're able to notify you of the outcome of your presentations earlier. And as a result, you would then have sufficient time to finalize your registration and invoices to allow payment before the conference. So that's just an important one to note around the change that we've had to implement for the presenters' fees. So the conference theme this year, as I said, remains reimagining student success and expanding opportunity for all. So we aim to inspire delegates to reimagine your traditional approaches and embrace new and innovative strategies that empower students to transition into and beyond university, to complete their studies successfully, to thrive in their careers, contribute more meaningfully to society, and achieve lasting economic mobility. So the theme further encapsulates our vision of scaling out, scaling up, and scaling deep, fostering innovation and collaboration, and driving systemic change across the PSET sector. The conference aims itself is around sharing evidence-based and scalable interventions, so to provide opportunity to share with delegates proven strategies that can be implemented for transformative post-school student success, to encourage collaboration, create spaces for sharing within your institution and sharing across your institutions, to learn from each other's experiences and work together to drive change, to advance the scholarship in student success. So to explore what student success looks like from a Siyaphumelela practitioner's perspective, how it is integrated within the institution, and to deepen the academic discourse around it. It's to embed the student voice, so to ensure that students actively participate in presentations and discussions to keep their perspective central, as well as showcase the student voice through the Siyaphumelela Scholars Initiative and their I Am poems, and to foster innovation and advocacy. So advocating for Siyaphumelela as a transformative, sustainable, and scalable model for student success, encouraging innovative practices and solutions. So it's important to note around the session themes. We've added 2 new session themes this year compared to last year, and those are highlighted in orange. So the first session theme is around transitioning into university. So including innovative programs focused on high school interventions from grade 9 to 12 that assist disadvantaged learners to be accepted into university and to be better prepared for university. Student support, so including holistic student supports, academic and peer advising, first year experience, senior student experience, even postgrad experience comes in, mental health, design systems thinking, AI and chatbots, and gender focused interventions. The use of data, so including equity performance gaps, tracking and interventions of our high impact modules, student tracking, data ethics and governance, knowing your students and the use of AI in data analysis, institutional change. So this would be presentations around the student success committees, the use of the institutional capacity assessment tool, student success frameworks, policies, monitoring and evaluation, as well as additional frameworks such as mental health frameworks. The teaching and learning remains, so including digital transformation and the use of AI in teaching and learning design, authentic learning and assessment, curriculum, an emphasis on literacy and numeracy, and open education resources in teaching and learning. So the student voice, focusing on how the student voice has been embedded or used to inform student success practices or to better understand the student journey. AI, so artificial intelligence for student success, and this really builds on the AI theme that we had at last year's conference. So it includes digitalization, automation and optimization, innovative use of AI for student success, demonstration of AI tools such as chatbots, etc. And then beyond university. So considering employability and the world of work and business, transition to postgrad studies, self-employment, and entrepreneurship. So as I say, same session types as last year with 2 additional ones, transitioning into university and AI for student success. So the types of presentations that we can have, um, the as we had last year, the Siyaphumelela partner sharing will take place with the institutional leads. However, I'll be sharing that more with the partner institutional leads at our upcoming convening meeting. Okay, so this one doesn't apply to ordinary presenters. Okay. So ordinary presenters, you'll have the choice of our 30-minute evidence-based sharing, which would be a 20-minute presentation and a 10-minute Q&A. So this is around the use of data to demonstrate successful strategy execution in one of those session themes and providing strong evidence of success with a substantive improvement in student and institutional outcomes. And those would be qualify for the presenter discounts. One presenter per 30 minutes presentation. Okay. You'll also have the option of lightning sharing. Last year, this was called our promising practice, but we've changed it because we've expanded it to allow for highlighting innovation in the session themes through a shorter presentation format. So this could be particularly suited to new or involving interventions to allow for demonstrations of software or tools, to include student presenters or co-presenters. And an important change here is that this then qualifies for the presenter discounts. Last year, we didn't waive the registration fees for this session format. However, we have included it now to receive a presenter discount. So as a presenter, you can have a choice of a 30 minutes evidence-based sharing or a lightning sharing. Okay. And you would still qualify for that presenter discount. So we hope that's a improvement in our funding strategy. Posters will remain. The poster session, you can either showcase visuals or artifacts that you've produced through Siyaphumelela or have it as an alternative option for lightning sharing. There's no presenter discounts for this. The poster session will take place on the opening plenary after the opening plenary on the Tuesday, the 23rd of June. And it will take place in the foyer, the registration foyer, with some light refreshments and snacks. And then the posters will remain up during the duration of the conference. So that's another option that you have in terms of being able to share the work that you do, as well as create opportunity to talk to people around the work through our poster session on the opening day of the conference. And lastly, we've got the 90-minute multi-institutional session. So we say 90-minute because it then basically takes up an entire session format. And here we would like robust and multi-institutional engagements on a session theme related to the work that happens within our Siyaphumelela work stream, to have Mbizo-style discussions or cluster dialogue time with case study presentations, workshops, etc. And this one does have a longer abstracts which is required for it in order to cover the topics. But it is really around multi-institutional. So we would like to see at least 3 institutions involved in the facilitators of these sessions. You're welcome to include any outside non-network students. Examples of ones which we had last year was around the AI. There was a session on AI that involved 3 institutions. There was one around the gender performance gaps. I think we also had from the first year experience. So this allows for a more in-depth and robust engagement. But we would like to see collaboration across institutions and not just one institution presenting during that period. And it isn't really meant to be a presentation style for the full 90 minutes. There has to be facilitated dialogue and discussion during it, or you presenting various case studies from different institutions and then allowing for more interaction with the delegates and with the audience within it. Okay. So those really are the changes. As I said, the lightning session has been expanded a little bit more to provide an alternative format for sharing your work while still being eligible for the presenter discount. For the 90-minute multi-institutional session, we would then provide discounts for up to 3 facilitators for that session. So we also have this as a bit of a diagram to help you identify various options that you can present and submit presentations for. So I do hope this helps. The presentations will be going through the call for presentations, and when you submit your presentations will be going through EasyChair. So I hope all of you are familiar with EasyChair, but EasyChair as well does allow for multiple submissions per author. So that is also again an improvement from last year. Maybe just a comment on that, because we do have limited space within our conference program as well. Last year, we received over 160 proposals, but we only had space for around 120 within the conference program. So if you are submitting multiple presentations as a single author from your institution, we would instead encourage you to collaborate either within your institution or across institutions and submit more of a yeah, so to allow more opportunity for other presenters to present. That is something we take into account when we draft in the conference program to ensure that we get a fair representation of universities, of institutions presenting, as well as authors within those institutions. Okay. I just quickly also wanted to share with you what the document looks like, and I will share this as a Word document as well. The call currently includes the PDF of it, but I will share the Word document as well. And we do provide detailed guidelines. So within the call for presentations, we do provide detailed guidelines. So this is just a summary of everything that has been presented so far. Yeah. And I think this is an important one to note as well, is that preference will be given to proposals which have a strong evidence of success at scale of the interventions that are being highlighted. So within the document itself, we've got more detailed information for each of the session types or each of the presentation types. We will be a little bit more lenient around the character length compared to what we were last year. But I think it's important to note that the various things which need to be included within your proposal, and it's important because your proposals are evaluated against these criteria. So I think an important one, if we have a look at the 30 minutes evidence-based one over here, it will still be fairly short, and the reason for this is that we want all of our abstracts to be going into the conference program, and in order to do that, we have to limit the length of it. Okay. So for a 30-minute one, you would need to include evidence of the success of your interventions, how students have been included within it, how has it been scaled, how has it actually eliminated equity gaps, how has the work been evaluated or plans to be evaluated, or key insights. So important to note is that we're not an academic conference. So within the abstracts that you submit, please cover what we have over here. One of the reasons why we had to reject a lot of presentations previously is that most of the abstract was dedicated to providing the background and the context of the work, which then didn't it resulted in fairly low score in abstracts because it didn't include the evidence of success, how it eliminated equity gaps, what were the insights, what was the data in particular, what did the data show. So that's important to note. Please don't include you will have a limited word count, but please don't waste your word count on your background or introduction, as that doesn't get evaluated. Okay, so practitioners conference, not an academic conference, and that's one of the key differences, and one of the reasons in particular why some of the previous presentations scored fairly low, was because their abstracts were written as a traditional academic abstract which focus in on introduction, background, and context. Okay, so we definitely want to see what was the impact of the work within it. We want it to be quantified and qualified when we talk about impact. So we don't just say that it improved throughput or success rates. We want to know what was the increase in throughput, what was the increase in success rates, how many students were involved in the work, um, and that needs to come through in your abstract itself so that we can successfully evaluate it. The lightning sharing ones, again, you'll see when we have a look at the proposal type, is that providing background and introduction is not how it's going to be evaluated against. It's going to be evaluated against, has it been successful? How has students been included? How has it been scaled, or could it be scaled if successful? How has it eliminated equity gaps within your institution? How has that been evaluated, as well as what the key insights are that will be shared during the presentation. Okay. The partner ones I'll discuss with the partners in the upcoming partner convening. And then the poster options remain the same as last year, where there are two options for it, around sharing any illustrations, visuals, or artifacts that have been produced, or an alternative opportunity for your lightning or promising practice sharing. And each of these does have different guidelines for what you should be writing in your proposal. Okay. So I hope that helps you. Let me stop sharing and then I'll try and put that in the chat. However, I will share it. Yes, I'll share the slide deck with everybody who's registered, as well as share the Word documents as well with everybody that has registered. But for now, are there any questions, comments, or queries? You're welcome to add anything in the chat. There we go. Let me just share those. So I've shared the slide deck as well as the Word documents for the call for proposals. So, I mean, really, if I could give you advice on having a successful presentation in terms of it being accepted at the conference, it is really focusing on what the work is, what has been the impact of the work, what is the key insights of the work. Please don't focus on your traditional background and introduction. Otherwise, it's not going to score well. As I say, the other thing is if you are planning on presenting, try and avoid as much as possible of sending a whole lot of abstracts, because we do have limited space. So we do give preference to abstracts to ensure that we've got diversity across the institutions. And we do have limited space where we actually have to reject quite a lot of presentations. Similarly, in the past as well, I don't want to say downgraded, but we did have to convert a lot of the 30-minute presentations to the lightning sharing. And that was mainly because there wasn't a strong evidence of success of those presentations. They weren't strong in terms of showing the impact of the work. The data wasn't as strong. And that might have just been how the proposal was written, rather than the actual work that was done. So if you include and you follow the guidelines that we give you in the Word documents and the PDF, that will also help you write a stronger proposal, which would then allow it or have a more higher likelihood of it being impact. And we really do evaluated against the guidelines. So you have to make sure you've read those guidelines in order to have a successful proposal. Okay.
Okay.
Mm,
Hi everyone. Um,
hi.
okay, I just want to know. Firstly, it's gonna be my first time writing a proposal, but I'm a bit of confused. Do I have to have a topic, or do I have to say on the program that we do, for example, for the one of student voices or the student success support that we do as the university? Do I come with a topic and then I do a proposal on that, or I do a proposal based on, because you said in the requirements we need to submit proposal and then we send a presentation later on. So I'm a bit confused. But do I have to create a topic, or do we just say, okay, this is under the following theme? This is our program that we did for the first semester in the university. Thank you.
Uh, so when the call for presentations, you'll submit a proposal of what you're planning to present at the conference. Um, and that should be based on the work that you do, which should fit under our session themes, the themes that we have for the conference. It can fit under more than one theme, but we would encourage you to select the most important theme that it can fit under. So it's a proposal that you'll be writing of what you plan on presenting at the conference. And then later on, if it's successful, we'll be requiring the actual presentations again to be submitted a little bit earlier so that we can upload it in the app and make it available to delegates beforehand. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Hmm. And if you're a first-time presenter, I would encourage you then possibly to do one of the lightning sharing as well, um, because it then gives you an opportunity to present and share your work, but it also allows you to see some of the other presentations at the conference and the work that's been presented. And then you would be able to write a better proposal for your presentations next year, for next year's conference. We do find it quite hard for first-time presenters who aren't familiar with the Siyaphumelela network and the work that we do to successfully get a 30-minute presentation first time round. It's usually easier to be doing a lightning presentation sharing as a way of introducing the work to the network and introducing yourself to the network as well. Okay. Is there any other questions? I hate to say it, we say it to the students as well, read the instructions. So likewise, if you read the guidelines for the different presentation types, you will be fine. I think, yeah, so often in the past, people have just submitted traditional proposals or abstracts for the conference, and then those are the ones that haven't scored quite well. But if you read the guidelines, you should be okay. And really, it's around data. So the evidence, make sure your work is underpinned by data, and we don't give preference to quantitative data. That includes qualitative data as well. So when we say data is both quantitative and qualitative that we would like to see. Um, and really keeping the 30-minute sessions for the successful interventions that can be shared across the network and scaled. Um, yeah. Whereas if your work fits under, doesn't have such strong evidence, or it's new or innovative, then please select the lightning sharing proposal. Um, yeah, because then it will have more of a likelihood of success. And it still qualifies for the presenter discount. So there's no A or B presentation types. They all treated equally. Okay. And maybe to add, where possible, where we receive the same presentation, well, similar presentation topics, for those 30 minutes evidence-based sharing from the same institution, from different authors, we might also approach you and request that you consolidate your presentations and the work that you do into a single 30 minutes sharing as well. So, and that's really because of the limits that we have in the conference program. Um, yeah, so we do take the program quite seriously to create a good conference experience, which does create a opportunity for us to merge presentations if needed, um, move presentations around if needed as well. Okay. We are expecting, last year we had over 450 delegates attending the conference in person. We're planning hopefully to go higher this year, to have more delegates, over 500 delegates. The space that we're in can accommodate up to 650 delegates, as well as we have fairly big breakaway rooms as well. And an improvement from last year as well is that the breakaway rooms are all going to be in close proximity to each other, which should allow for the movement of delegates between the venues a lot more easily. Okay. So I think the important one to note is that, and we'll be launching the EasyChair platform towards the end of March. Submissions will be going through EasyChair. The reviews will be happening through EasyChair, and we'll be giving you feedback through EasyChair. We're aiming to give everybody feedback by the 8th of May. On the outcome of it, so then you can complete your registration and we can proceed with the invoicing and the payment with the presenter discounts. Okay. I see people are dropping off, which is great. I don't want to keep people any longer. We will make the recording available to everybody who registered, as well as I'll share the slide deck again and the call for presentations as a Word document. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you at this year's conference. We're very excited to see how it's grown and scaled. We're hoping to implement a lot more use of technology to make our own conference experience more efficient and effective and optimize some of the registration and the abstract issues that we had last year. And that's why we're using EasyChair for that process and not the same system that we had last year. We're taking your feedback into account. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. A reminder that the deadline is the 20th of April. I think that is before, yeah, April is a hard month with all of the public holidays that takes place. So it's also to allow us enough time to review all of the prepared or abstracts that we receive after the 20th of April so that we can give you feedback by the 8th of May, as well as taking into account the conference program and the number of presentation slots that we have available. Okay. So once again, thank you very much to everybody, and I'll be sharing the recording as well as the slide deck and the call for presentations as a Word document with everybody who registered. If you have any queries later on, you're welcome to send an email to info@siyaphumelela.org.za and we'll respond to it. Yeah. Even if you have some queries around your what presentation format is best suited, we'll be able to give you any advice as well. Great. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks. Bye bye.